My battery's swelling, James. Oh, my battery's swelling.
I know exactly how you feel. If only I could take my battery in to get it replaced by a qualified technician.
Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today on this fabulous, well-crafted, oiled, polished, warmly loved show. My name is Kelly Wright.
And I'm James Ernest, and we're here all week, parachuting into your living room from 10,000 feet and screaming all the way down.
James, did you notice anything different about me?
I think you are slightly taller than the last time I saw you.
That's really funny. I am sitting down, but yes, my posture is so much better. No, my mechanism
And
for
that's
change.
the posture that comes from knowing you're beautiful with the bright pink hair and shaved sides that go perfectly with your every Disney princess shirt.
It's true. I am a pop of color in a gray Seattle day. I haven't colored my hair since 2012. I shaved it off for charity, raised $3,000 through a charity called St. Baldrick's, and never looked back as far as for dyeing my hair because my hair was coming in very salt and pepper. So now it's mostly silver, and I just miss it because my mechanism for change I color my hair to use a launch pad to embrace the change that's happening in my life. And I'm like, I miss having color in my hair, and let's not just go for something that's conventional. Let's go for unconventional. So yeah, I got basically a mohawk with bright hot pink mohawk, and I am so happy with it. I can't tell you.
Well,
how
Kelly,
happy
do you
I am.
notice anything the same about me?
James, you have matched your salt and pepper beard with your polo today.
That's right. I am exactly as you saw me before. Many times before, I've looked exactly as I do now, and that's because I don't color what's left of my hair. It seems like it would be pointless.
Well, it would just be smearing paint on the old dome, and
I could paint the dome. I could put like a cuckoo clock or something up there.
You could do that, or you could do the bad John Travolta, where you have that very sharp, sharpie black line, that very dark black. It was awful. It's like, John, embrace it. Just embrace it. It looked really bad.
I don't remember that, John Travolta. I'll have to do some photographic research.
Okay.
Well, Kelly, it's time for our opening segment, Conversation Starter, sponsored this week by Threadlocked. Tonight's Conversation Starter comes from Science of People, first date questions backed by science. Kelly, what's the best advice anyone ever gave you?
Don't put all your eggs in one basket. When they were talking to me about stocks that I held in a company, I had all my money in one stock.
All your money was in one stock, and they said that is a basket full of eggs.
They said, here's the advice. Don't keep your eggs in one basket. You want to diversify. And that was the best advice I ever got. And
what happened to that stock? Did it go up or down?
Well, I was able to sell it because it was at its peak. This was a private company that my great-grandfather started way back in Detroit. That was part of the auto industry. And
his name was Apple Computer Wright.
No, I wish. No, he managed his company very successfully through the Great Depression. He started it way before then. And so his company flourished, and stocks were given to us, when we were born into the family. And, it wasn't, they weren't huge amounts of money, but it was substantial as far as to help with school. So, yeah, when I had a little bit left over, I hooked up with a financial advisor, and I said, I have all this stuff. What do I do with this? And I said, I feel like I need to keep it with my great-grandpa's company because, that's it's nostalgia. And he looks at me and goes, your great-grandpa wouldn't want you to do that he didn't run his business that way. So don't keep your eggs in one basket. And I was like, that was very good advice. So there you go. You?
Well, yours was from a financial advisor. Mine was from a lawyer. I have spent my life absorbing bad advice from nearly everyone, but among my favorites is contracts don't have to be hard to read. Advice from a lawyer about how lawyers make more work for themselves by pretending to speak a secret language. Yeah, I write and read a lot of contracts, and I'm now often very frustrated by obtuse language that has been copied from one draft to another that technically is sensical but cannot be read by human eyes. It's not because it's magic. It's because they're lazy, and it's because they want to make it look like they're the only ones who can do their job. And obviously they're the only ones licensed to do their job. But that doesn't mean that contracts should be impossible to understand.
No,
right? That's
no,
just laziness.
no. That's it's pretty difficult for those who haven't plowed through the law language fields. Yeah, the hither theretofore and herewithal and forfeit this and
Hereinafter
therefore
known
in
as
servitude.
the parties. Well,
The
Janice and the
parties.
Dozens tell us about the best advice everyone ever gave you, and here's a nickel's worth of free advice from here all week. Support us on Patreon and receive the warm, fuzzy feeling of supporting us on Patreon. The link is in the thing.
The
How's your
thing.
week, Kelly? Besides your haircut and house shopping, is that what you've been doing? Oh,
You know,
oh, yes.
I am fortunate. I feel very fortunate to be able to do this. I do. I am very grateful for this opportunity. It is. It's tough. It's really tough. There are times I wish I would like to be in some place that wasn't so expensive and so competitive. Like we could buy a really great home in Idaho, for
Sure.
the amount of money that we're looking at, but I don't want to live in Idaho.
A
And my
McMansion deep
husband's
in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
Coeur d'Alene is beautiful, but I don't want to live in Idaho. That's not, my first choice. And my husband's job requires him to stay within the area. So there you go. So we are limited to the supply that's here. And boy, let me tell you, it's crazy. The realtor says it's crazy. Other realtors say it's crazy. People who are buying houses are in this wacko state of mind, like, oh, I gotta put as much money as I can, and I'll never get another chance. So,
And from what you explained to me today, you walked into this place today with two sacks, like human head-sized sacks of gold
Yeah.
coins,
Yeah.
and plonked them down on the table. And then a gunfight broke out. 6 people died.
Yep.
And then you had to swear up and down that you only had 2 dogs. Or am I conflating 2 different stories?
It sounds like you were mixing up The Revenant or some other movie like that.
Oh,
with
right.
My
You
House
were
Fire.
attacked by a bear. You were
Yeah,
thrown around by a very realistic bear, and
Yes,
then found yourself losing out on one more bid for
Yeah.
a buyer's
It's really
market home.
frustrating too. And the last one that we bid on that we really, really wanted. Great house, great location, no HOA, blocks away from some of our dearest friends in our life. And we were the first bid in. We were outbid. The owner said, "We think it's fair to let you know that you've been outbid. Do you want to reconsider?" And we're like, "Yeah, we will match them." And the advantage we had is that we were willing to move up the closing date because these folks want to relocate to where aging parents are. They want to get out of town. They're done. So we did that. And then the realtor came in and said, well, we'll have a decision for you by 9. And there was a conference call with all the realtors. And our realtor made a great case saying, look, they were the first in. This is the safest bet. And they took the offer for $25K more. That's a higher risk because, and I understand it, because they have 2 daughters and they were thinking for schooling and the future of their daughters. So they went higher risk, a little bit more money.
Nobody
And I
needs
get
to
it.
justify why they want more money. That's just the way everyone is. Everybody wants more money. We've heard about it on this show. People like to use money for everything. They exchange it for goods and services around the world, and it is the only reason to do anything.
I use plastic. Is that money?
Right, but behind that plastic, well, are you familiar with the blockchain?
So it was disheartening because Rich and I crunched numbers and we were at our absolute limit of holy crap, we are going to be like really shutting off everything, like no cable, no basic phone service. I mean, really pulling things back.
Food once a week, meat once a month, no
Yeah.
visitors, no noises. You can't
Yeah.
make any sounds.
Yeah.
You can't listen to radio broadcasts because there's always a risk of
Yeah.
buying something that you hear an ad for. I understand living on a budget, believe me.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've been through it many, many times in my life. And this particular budget would be no different. It just would be in a bigger home. And this isn't like, we're not looking for, McMansion-sized places. This is just something that we can have a little bit more storage and live in a Rambler, or at least have a main floor that has a bathroom on it and a room that can be converted into a recovery room, because I am planning on having knee surgery at some time and I don't need to go up two bunches of stairs. to go to the bathroom.
So Janice and the dozens, if you've got a house, a Rambler you're trying to get rid of at a reasonable price and don't mind selling to the lowest bidder, send us your thoughts at care of this podcast.
Yeah, and then I have a question for you, because the other one that we were looking at today has an HOA, and one of the clauses in there was that you can only have 2 dogs, and we have 3, and you have to have it approved by the HOA board, and they were accepting bids up till 5 p.m., and I just looked at Rich and went, I'm not doing it. And you wrote back, oh, just lie about it.
Lie about the dogs, everyone does. I have 6 cats, 2 Tasmanian devils, and a trampoline that my HOA does not know anything about, and with good reason, because they'd just be in there bouncing up and down on the damn thing all the time.
Clandestine trampoline.
Clandestine pets.
Isn't
Pet care for the
clandestine
invisible fur babies in your house.
Clandestine trampoline is the name of my klezmer band, my punk klezmer band. Oh, James, you
Contraband
remember Courtney
trampoline.
You remember Courtney Cox from Friends, right?
I believe I've never seen a full episode of Friends.
That's okay. That's okay. Many people haven't. There's a resurgence among the young.
No. I haven't. Me. I define myself as
you.
special for having missed this. My
Okay.
mom came to visit this last weekend, and she had never seen
Oh.
a James Bond movie. But I have a sneaking suspicion that we had exactly the same conversation when she visited 2 years ago, and probably watched the same movie then.
Just think, every day is a new day for your mom. It's brand new. I've never had this before. What is this? Spaghetti? Yeah.
Tell me about Courtney Cox, and then I'll tell you my favorite restaurant joke.
Nope. She says she looked really strange after cosmetic procedures. And I remember when she was fighting aging and really plumped her lips up and got her cheeks done, and her face just really, really changed. And she's 57 years old, and she realizes now, she goes, God, I look back and what I did to my face, I would never do now. And it's just the pressure of it, especially for women in entertainment. I've done a few things. I've had Botox and I've had some fillers put in, and it was just one of those things where it's not. I found a great dermatologist that helps with doing it so it looks natural. That it's just minor tweaking that, someone looks and goes, "You look well rested." I mean, that's literally all it is. So, you look rested. How you feeling? I'm like, I feel great. So I don't know if
that's why I always go out wearing my stocking cap.
Is that what it is?
Yes. My nightshirt and stocking cap, I look well rested because I look like I just got out of bed.
So I don't know if you are a connoisseur of any dermatological stuff.
You mean, have I had work done? None that I care to disclose, Kelly. But even if I had, my work does not require me to appear on camera as myself. And so most of the work is, shall we say, in my nether regions.
Oh, okay, great. And moving on. But I mean, I'm just curious as far as with people of Gen X, folks of Gen X, women definitely way into skincare. All the washings. But I'm so surprised with skincare. My husband, he just uses the shampoo in the shower and just washes his face.
Well,
I'm like, no, you have to exfoliate. You got to.
Where else is he going to use the shampoo? Why can't you use the shampoo in the shower? Do you have to step out of the shower and use the shampoo and then get back in?
No.
Is this some kind of weird 5-second army bath I'm not familiar with?
Nope.
I do the same thing. The head wash is for the front of the head too. The front of my head's mostly hair, so it's kind of like,
Well, that I understand with beard care, but I mean, I guess what I'm surprised is that there's no regimen, there's no exfoliating, there's no toner, there's no moisturizer, there's no sunscreen, there's no.
Yeah.
I mean, why?
Yeah. Yeah, well,
why not?
Because I suppose we can talk about gender relations and product placement later in the episode, but
that I understand. But come on, enough knowledge now. The whole metrosexual thing happened, and it just kind of got absorbed into the
I suppose that's true, but just because Rich and I don't have a jar of face scrub in our showers doesn't mean that applies to all men.
No, I'm not applying it.
It just applies to the two of us.
I'm not applying it to all men. I'm just asking, why don't you? I'm asking you.
What a colossal waste of time. That's what I'm thinking. It's a colossal waste of time.
Of what?
I mean,
on this show? Of course.
Aren't
Of
I
course it's a
already as
colossal waste of
beautiful?
time.
Aren't I already as beautiful
You
as
are-
I'm going to get, Kelly?
you
There's
are
no
as-
there's
you
no
are
improving on this.
You are as dewy as the morning rain.
Dewey. Get your
I don't
face,
wanna-
Dewey, with Dewey Dad. The only substance that cleans everywhere with only one application.
I don't want to think about how moist you are. Oh, God.
I want to tell you my favorite restaurant joke. I had to tell it 3 times this weekend.
Okay.
Because it's about old people forgetting things. You'll never guess where I was. I was visiting old people. And I was almost the youngest person in the room. The joke is that the son comes home and he asks his dad, he says, "Dad, did you go to any good restaurants, any new restaurants lately?" And he says, yes. There's this place we went, what's the flower? What's it called? The flower that you get like a dozen of these when you have like on Valentine's Day, you get this flower. You got to help me with this. What's
Roses. Roses.
That's it. Rose, what's the name of that restaurant?
Oh, poor Rose. We don't have a cat.
We don't have a cat.
Well, while that old man and Rose mend their bridges, we're going to take a break with a sponsor. Oh, by the way, before we go into it, yet again, another fancy schmancy pair of reading glasses that you can see on the
Fancy
video.
cheaters.
Oh, yeah. Love me my cheaters. This episode of Here All Week is brought to you by Threadlocked. So much better.
Hello, men and boys. Are you ready for some serious action?
Then put away those trucks and guns and get Threadlocked.
Threadlocked is the only knitting, weaving, and embroidery supply for men only.
Thrash the competition with your stunning needlepoint.
Knit the hell out of this manly sweater.
Your girlfriend will literally orgasm herself when she sees you in this fetching wool cap.
Knit in the manliest of colors, black, red, dark red, brown, and new, even darker black.
Destroy the competition with the Stitchman original quilted beer can holders.
Knit the crap out of these meat-ready barbecue mitts with matching toque.
Boys, don't let women in your life try to take away what's rightfully yours.
Reclaim the manly side of textiles.
Take back sewing, stitching, knitting, and more at Threadlocked.
Act now and get this Calico Goblin pneumatic threader, a $65 value for just $19.95.
Sew on that button so hard it will outlive the coat.
Crochet the crap out of this camouflage concealed carry holster from Pistol Whipped.
Chain stitch this patriotic crocodile on these macho calfskin racing gloves.
Or weave your way to success with this wire dog cage basket made from bent pipes and razor wire.
This magnificent cage comes in 6 custom sizes, from Chihuahua to Wolfhound.
And Threadlocked has the tools you need to take back knitting.
Look at these Knitter's Revenge carbon fiber tip titanium needles in Bloodsport Burgundy or Military Green.
Or get the all-in-one knit extravaganza serger in bottle bottom blue.
Its 25 horsepower high torque gasoline engine performs up to 6,000 stitches every second.
Or use it to drive a 6-inch chromium tip thread head needle through 6 layers of raw cowhide.
Stitch your way to victory with Tuftmaster high tensile carbon steel wool.
Knit a sweater that can stop a .22 caliber round at 40 yards.
And sharpen your needles with Manstone's 6, 8, or 12-inch needle grinder. Available in 110, 220, and now 440 watts super heavy-duty sharpening power.
Join our masterclass series and learn to caterpillar, cable knit, hurdle, rib, and purl like an Olympic knitting champion.
Your fierce needles will pierce flesh, metal, and even stone.
Don't let women tell you what you can't do. Join Threadlocked today.
And knit the hell out of everything.
Threadlocked, so much better.
We also do steaks.
You might also notice that we also have steak available.
We also do steaks.
Yeah, oh wow. What a fun sponsor. That totally reminds me of the Monster Truck and Donna Funny Car Super 53 funny cars. You'll pay $10 for the seat, but you'll only use the edge.
I believe, well, whatever. Yes, $10 buys the whole seat, I think is the setup.
whole
The
seat.
$10
You're only going
buys
to
the
need the
whole
edge.
seat.
On the
I could rent out the back of the seat.
54 funny cars.
And joining us this weekend only, Truckosaurus.
Truckosaurus. Had you ever gone to one of those?
I have never been to a monster truck show, and I feel like my life is emptier because of it.
It is emptier. They are really, really fun. I mean, everybody is so way into it, and there's just diesel smoke all over the arena, and you're eating really bad French fries, and people are happy. Truckosaurus is crushing things. It's just such a primal event, especially with 54 funny cars.
We're all going to hell.
Yeah, we are.
I'll tell you what inspired that ad. Although it was many years ago. I had a boss's boss who came out of the toy industry and had invented a game, and you'll know who this is because I'm going to tell you the name of the game. It was called An Income of Her Own, and it was meant to be a board game for girls, teaching them about how they could make money too. It was supposed to be gender inclusive. Well, not really, because it was just for girls. It was pink and purple. It had a board with writing on it, but every girl, every player, presumably every girl, had their own track so that every space that was facing them so they could read it, because girls can't read upside down. It had jobs you could do to prove that you could make money, like babysitting and needlepoint, and it was just the most absurdly sexist thing in the whole world. And she put it in front of me, and she said, "What do you think of this?" And I kind of gave a heavy sigh and didn't really answer, but what I finally answered was to make up a comparable game for boys about having emotions called He Can Cry Better Than You Can, and so on. It was the most offensive thing I've ever seen. But that was a point of pride for in her resume.
Wow, that's really amazing that she took that direction. Wow.
Yep.
You just brought up a memory in my head. This wasn't sexist by any means, but I did a video here in town about money called, I think it was Max's Money Adventure or something, and I played a postal worker, and I was the voice of a penny. There you go.
Oh, that's delightful.
It's delightful. And the cool thing about the postal part is that I had to get a letter from the production company saying I need to get this uniform. I need to get a postal, because it's an official uniform.
Right.
It's a federal uniform. So I had to get a notarized letter from the production company and go to this specific, very specific uniform store that services police officers, postal workers. Things like that. Show them the letter. ID, picture, everything from me as far as on getting this. Bought I had the shirt. I got the pith helmet. I wanted the white pith helmet so bad for the rain and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I got the white pith helmet, got a big old jacket, got some blue pants with the stripes up the side. I was kitted out as a postal worker. And the funny thing is that the people that would look at me when I was on break while filming, as I'm just walking downtown, there's no bag. I'm not carrying any bag or anything, and I'm talking and I'm eating stuff and just standing there, and people are like, "Aren't you supposed to be doing something?" I'm like, "I am. I'm
an actor."
Oh yeah, there you go. And the rule was too, as far as I could return it, because they said we can't give you full refund on it, just so you're aware of it. So the company, reimbursed me as far as for what I.
Wow, I assumed that you were renting it. You mean you bought it and then you returned it at a discount?
I bought it and I returned it, and they're like, we can't give you a full refund back because it is used. And I said, not a problem. I just need receipts so I can get reimbursed. Not a problem. But yeah, they wanted to make sure they're like, don't donate anything. Yeah. Don't give this to anyone. Nothing.
Yeah, because they got to keep a tight leash on costumes like that, because those things will get you in anywhere. You see this in every modern action movie. Like at some point, somebody in a hard hat and a reflective vest, or a postal uniform, or doctor's outfit, or whatever, can just walk through any door.
Yep. I don't know if the rules have changed on it, but it certainly was like that when I was doing it. So I was really surprised. So there you go. The more you know. Bring!
Although I guess all it takes now is a bag of delivery food. You can probably get into any apartment building with a brown bag with stains on the bottom.
Oh, that's really disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you should never let people tailgate you people. Get it? Nobody tailgates. You close that door, and don't worry if someone bitches behind you. I live here. Just close the door.
Yeah, I feel like, especially in the in the drive-in, in the gate of the garage, I feel like anybody tailgating me, I really want to stop right inside the gate and make them raise it themselves, right? But
Yeah,
but I know that they're gonna do that, and then they're gonna hassle me, and I'm just like, I don't want this. I'm not really the security for this building. We're just doing the best we can. Come on in, tailgater. You just
No,
park that
it's
thing anywhere.
Yeah, it's the people walking in behind you. Now, I am not talking about the people who are the Kevins and the Karens who, start really leaning in on people of color or black people who are coming into their buildings like, "Do you live here? Do you live here?" And blocking your like, "I'm using my key to get in."
Yeah.
That's bullshit. That's absolute bullshit. But as far as like, if you're a single person, it's late at night, you have someone who is tailing you, you have every right to just close that door as hard as you can behind you. They'll open it if they have the key. You don't have to feel any nice
Unfortunately,
to hold the door.
my door has a motion camera on the inside. So there's really no way that I could
Oh.
shut it behind me, walk to the elevators, and not open it for them again. Like
Got it.
that's
I
not 100% great security. And I always wonder if I could foil even that by shining like a light in somehow and making the floor look like there's somebody in there moving. But I've already given away far too many secrets to the criminals who listen to our broadcast.
No, I've lived in a few buildings where, heavy fire doors were there for a reason as far as to stop it from spreading through the cheap apartment building I lived in, and the security doors were there for a reason, and I was really serious about it, and people thought I was just awful and mean. Why don't you hold the door for me? It's like, sorry. You
You don't have a trustworthy face because a trustworthy face has a key card on it.
Oh, James, since we had Threadlocked as our sponsor, I am going to do some trivia to you, on you, at you, for you. What's the common thread? Is this trivia? So basically, when you gaze at what may seem like a random assemblage of movie trivia,
All
what you're
right.
actually seeing is a very specific set of films that share a common
All of these
element.
things are like each other in some
Like each
particular
other.
way.
So what is the common thread in these questions I'm about
Kevin
to ask you?
Spacey. The answer is Kevin
No.
Spacey. Always.
I'm
Kevin
sorry,
Spacey.
we haven't even started. Roll that, dial it back. You're at a 10. I need you at about a 6. Okay, dial it back. First question. "Oh no, it wasn't the airplanes. It was Beauty killed the Beast" is a well-known line from what 1933 film?
King Mother Effin' Kong.
You are correct. What
And also
2000
in the Peter Jackson remake.
Absolutely. What 2001 movie features Tom Cruise's character David Ames dealing with the aftermath of being disfigured in a car crash?
I do not know that one.
That is Vanilla Sky.
Yep, I do not know that one.
In which Lord of the Rings film is Gandalf shown battling the Balrog after being pulled from the bridge of Khazad-dûm?
That would be The Two Towers. And
Yes.
And the funny thing is, when you said Tom Cruise, I pictured Tom Hanks. So I was filtering
Oh,
through
no.
a whole different set of movies. That would have been an interesting.
No.
Anyway, I didn't know the answer either way, but now
That's
I can't
okay.
even tell my Toms apart. Rose, what's the name of that restaurant?
Rose! In what 2006 film starring Brandon Routh as the title character was the 6th and final installment in a film series that began in 1978?
Wow, no idea.
That is Superman Returns.
Oh, right.
Okay.
That's a series. I guess that's a series. I thought Superman Returns was a remake, but you're right. It is kind of in sequence with the others.
Mm-hmm. What 1999 sci-fi action film popularized the special effect known as bullet time?
That would be I Know Kung Fu. The Matrix.
No. Okay,
What?
there you go. I'm like, it's not the TV show Kung Fu. Walk the path,
I know.
grasshopper.
I know Kung Fu.
Nakatomi
You
Plaza
think that's
is the main...
air you're breathing now?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Nakatomi Plaza is the main setting of what 1988 action film?
Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho.
Oh,
Die Hard.
Oh. Yes, Die Hard. What 1991 sequel sees its two title characters returning from the afterlife after defeating death at Battleship, Clue, Electric Football, and Twister?
That's Bill and Ted's.
That is Bill and Ted's.
Bogus Journey? Is that the name of the second one?
You are correct. Yes, it is. What 1993 film, based on a 1960s TV series, stars Harrison Ford as Richard Kimball, a man searching for the one-armed man who murdered his wife?
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care. That's The Fugitive.
Right. Albus Dumbledore's last words spoken while alive, Severus, please, are spoken in which film?
Man, one of the damn Harry Potter movies. I don't care. Let's say Deathly Hallows.
Oh, no. Good choice. Excellent choice, but not right. It's the Half-Blood Prince.
Oh, sure, of course it is. Now I remember.
We only have one more well, actually, we have two more questions. What 2012 film directed by Joss Whedon capped off Phase 1 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
That's just The Avengers, isn't it?
It is The Avengers.
Yeah.
So, based on all these answers here, what do all of these films have in common? What is
Kevin
the common
Spacey.
thread? No.
Let's see.
Excuse me.
Wow. Would it be useful to relist the names so that I can figure out the common thread?
Of course. King Kong, Vanilla Sky, The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, Superman Returns, The Matrix, Die Hard, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, The Fugitive, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and The Avengers.
I'm going to guess Flying.
You know, you are so close. It is Flying with Gravity Helping. All of these films include a scene where at least one main character fell from a great height.
Falls from a great height. Okay, falling from
Yeah.
a great height. Well, I
There you
haven't
go.
seen 3 of those movies, so I'm going to go with, yeah. Flying is just jumping towards the ground and missing, isn't it?
I think so. Okay,
According to
judges,
Douglas Adams, I believe.
judges, let's... Oh, okay, you win the dinette set. Good for you.
Oh,
You
I
win
get
the
second
dinette
place.
set this time.
I like second place. It's just like
Second
first
place,
place without all the responsibilities.
set
I
of
don't have to
steak
tour the
knives.
country and give speeches and and use that crap on my face every morning. I can just take
Yeah.
my dinette set and go back home and watch those
Go back
movies I
home.
haven't seen.
Back home. Second place, set of steak knives. Third place, you're fired.
Third
Hit the
place
bricks,
is you're
pal.
fired. Put that coffee
Coffee
down.
down.
That's why I haven't seen all these movies, is because I've seen my favorite movies 10 times
Over
each.
And over and
Yep.
over again. The one I've been binging on for a long, long time is Interstellar. Just because Murph.
Oh my
Murph,
God! Yeah,
don't
I
let me
finally
go,
saw
Murph.
that the second time. You got to watch the Chris Nolan movies twice. There's so much going on in those movies.
There's a ton going on, but it is my go-to film. I don't know why. I just think I don't know why. Literally.
You want to know why I named you Murphy? It isn't because it's bad. It's because whatever
Not
can
bad,
happen
'cause
will happen.
Can
you know what I
happen,
mean?
will happen. Murph.
Yes, those of our listeners who haven't seen these movies that we're riffing on have already
Spoiler.
tuned out and moved on to our next episode, which they should be doing.
They should
because
be doing.
we have so many episodes.
Thank
Is
you
this
so
number
much.
88? Is this 88 keys on the
God,
keyboard?
85, 86. This is 87. This is episode 87.
I think, okay, let's check that again, because I think I
Could
already
be
downloaded
88.
episode 87.
Oh, okay. I don't know. You have more.
Maybe we're in
access to
some
this.
kind of time loop and we're
think
just
we're in
doing
87.
87 for the rest of
Are
our
we?
lives.
I don't know. It's like Groundhog Day over again. Anyway, what are your plans for this week? It's getting closer to your cruise.
It is. So the family is now in cruise prep mode. They're arguing over how many shoes they need and whether they have the right sundress. And
Just one.
I already have all the sundresses I need, and so I'll be focusing on. It's just you know how it is. It never rains, but it pours. I have another pileup of projects. In part because sometimes I don't get a lot done, but I also scheduled some things for January, which got blocked, and now, of course, I had scheduled some things for February too, and now they're all piling up because the block stuff isn't done. So work the usual, making some card games and writing some stuff, shooting some videos if I have time. I will tell you though, I spent some time in the wood shop over the weekend cleaning it up
Oh.
and finding pieces of wood that would make a nice game board for a game I made a couple weeks ago called Tablero. I may, although it's going to be very cold this week, I may throw open the garage door and cut up those pieces of wood.
Oh, I think that's awesome. I haven't worked with wood in a long time, and Rich constantly tells me that. Good night. That's why we're called
night.
here all week, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Make sure and
Good
tip
night,
your
everybody.
buffet.
Good night. Tip your waitress, try the cheese. Good night. So this week for me is still house hunting, at least the properties that come up and just wondering how do people afford 1.3, 1.5, 1.8 million.
They don't. They do what
homes.
you were talking about. That's in this kind of market. They stretch themselves as thin as they can to get the house they think they deserve. It's a hard way to live. I remember.
hard.
I mean, every time I search for property, whether I eventually get it or not, I am always trying to, talk myself into something bigger and better because you got to live there.
Well, sure, but at the same time, do you really want to, every other day you get your package of ramen and, Dobby gets a sock and everything's great. There you go. So
That's
I don't
you
know.
got to name the house. I think the name of your house should be Dobby Gets a Sock.
Welcome to Dobby Gets a Sock Estates. Come on in.
I wanted last time I was house shopping, which believe me was 20 years ago. I fantasized about getting a house so big compared to our apartment. This house is so big, but that we could have a visitor center with a little model of the house as you come in. I think that's my goal for the next place. Is to have a little model of the whole place right when you come in.
That's Bond supervillain territory. That's what that is.
When I worked at Wizards of the Coast, there was actually a plot by the editing department to put some of their extra money together and pay me an unreasonable amount of money to build a Lego model of their facility. I almost made that work, and then budget cuts crept in, and this frivolous detail was excised from the budget. But I'll tell you what, I would have loved doing it. I had already sort of figured I was going to let everyone pick their own minifig and decorate their own cubicle with it and so on. That would have been great fun. Would have been about 15 feet square.
Yeah.
And I designed like photocopiers and all kinds of office equipment and so forth in preparation for this project, but sadly it was not to be. And now, yes, I want to build a Lego visitor center of my own house.
That reminds me, when we were working on Marvel Superhero Squad Online, and the company that owned us also owned, I can't remember the name of the studio, but they produced the Lego game, and they had a warehouse full of Lego pieces, and they had specific Lego technicians that would build characters to make sure how to photograph them, how they would break apart in the game and everything. And I think that would be fascinating. And I didn't know if you've ever had a chance to go and visit them or see their facilities at all, or.
But I have my own.
I never did. I know you have your own.
I have my own. I don't need to see other people's Lego collection. Now, I would love to work for Lego, but it's probably not in the cards.
Got it. Well, maybe one day when you retire from this thing you're doing.
You can't retire from being unemployed, Kelly. That's called getting a job.
Okay. Oh, well, keep packing your stuff. Keep your eye on the prize, which is the cruise that you're going to. My days are basically just filled with work, worky work, house, housey, house. So nothing too exciting. Folks, as always, first of all, we seriously appreciate you joining us today. We know your time is important, and thank you for giving us a little bit of that time. And if you have any questions, comments, you want to hear a topic, please let us know. You can put comments in right in our show page. Also, tell your friends about the show, because we are growing little by little, but let's try leaps and bounds this time, shall we? So I want you to tell 5 or 6 people about this show. Like and subscribe. You can get this podcast anywhere you find your regular podcast streams. Also, you can be a Patreon of the show, which means a little bit of chump change is coming our way and just helps us keep this going, because we fund this out of pocket, and aside from all the other stuff we do in our world. And as always, be kind. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to your family. Be kind to your friends. Be kind to your neighbors. Be kind to your community, because we are all still going through it. Thank you again so much for joining us today. My name is Kelly Wright.
And I'm James Ernest, and we're here all week.